Black Magic Woman podcast acknowledges the traditional owners of the land we have recorded this episode on. We also acknowledge traditional owners of the land where you, the listener or viewer, are tuning in from. We would like to pay our respects to our elders past and present and acknowledge that this always was Aboriginal land and always will be Aboriginal land.
You may go down the path and realise, oh damn, this actually wasn't for me. But through that process of giving it a go and coming to that realisation of that moment, I think there's a lot of power in that, and that's still a step in the right direction.
Welcome to the Black Magic Woman podcast with Mundanara Bales.
Welcome back to another episode of the Black Magic Woman podcast. We're here on the beautiful land of the Yuggera and Turrbal people and at the amazing iHeart studios. Big shout out to iHeart for basically hosting us and letting me bring community into these deadly spaces. So big shout out to Jack and Mel and everyone behind the scenes that make this happen. I have done something that's kind of out of the normal for me. It's not a normal day in the office. Today I was able to come up to Brisbane and meet some incredible, deadly black fellas, First Nations peoples from around the country. So you're in for an absolute treat. You're getting two for the price of one today. It's an amazing episode, and it's to really promote and support the work of Culture is Life, in particular the Fullaship Program. So joining me on the show today, we've got Koby and Joel. I'm going to hand over to you, my brother, first to introduce yourself. So can you please share with our listeners, and we've got viewers now on YouTube, a little bit about yourself. So your name, your mob, and a little bit about where you grew up.
So my name is Koby Sellings. I'm a proud Gunai Kurnai man from southeast Victoria in Lakes Entrance. I've also got cultural ties, blood ties to Yuggera Country, Wodjabala Country, a lot of the South Coast and a lot of Victoria, related to everyone, it seems. But yeah, grew up on country and was part of a scholarship program where I went to boarding school on Wadawurrung Country in Geelong. Just very passionate about mob and community and whatnot. So.
Can't wait to find out some of those passions, and in particular what led you to applying for the Fullaship Program. We've got a lot of mob that listen to this program. I did say earlier that there's about 130 Aboriginal radio stations across the country, and we're hoping that more of those stations take on this podcast so that we can get some of these stories to those communities. I'm going to come back to you, Koby. Joel, over to you, Bella. Do you want to share with the listeners and people on YouTube who you are, where you come from, and a little bit about where you grew up?
Yeah, thanks. Would love to. So, Joel Matysek, I'm a proud Miriam man from the top eastern side of the Torres Strait. On my father's side, spent about a decade up there growing up between three beautifully, very remote islands up in the Torres Straits. And on my mother's side, I have connections that go to Ngāti Naitarangi in New Zealand as well. So, it's a little bit about me from that side growing up. Spent some time in Cairns for about a decade there as well. Then some time down here in Brisbane, down Ngunnawal and Ambry Country for some time, and sort of back living up in Gimoy. So I think we'll get into it as the episode continues to develop.
Today. So hold that thought about Gimoy. For people that don't know where Gimoy is, it's actually Cairns. So we're using language that some of our listeners are familiar with and some might not be. So for some listeners, it might be something they've just learnt. I'm going to go back to you, Koby. What led you to applying for the Fullaship Program? Where'd you see it? How'd you hear about it?
So actually, I know quite a few of the alumni. So a few of the people that have done the fellowship in the first 2 years, they kind of just, I guess, encouraged me to do it. And I'm all about, grasping opportunity and making the most of opportunity so that I can learn, and then so I can pass that on to my family and my friends and whatnot, and hopefully, just kind of build myself up so then I can share my skills and my knowledge bank with the generations and the people around me. So that was basically where I.
Was it an easy process in terms of the application? Because I'm pretty sure there would be, a good mob around, maybe hundreds even of applications for people to apply and then get selected. So tell me what that was like Can I apply for it, for instance, or is there an age cutoff?
So yeah, the fellowship is open to mob that are 18 to 30 years old. So
I miss out. Damn.
Unfortunately. Got that 12 years, I guess, to kind of make the most of it and have a crack. But I think, the application process is smooth itself. It's just obviously coming and bringing, I guess, your skill set, but also what you want out of it and what you want to learn. So I think everyone has different ideas on what everyone's on different paths, obviously. So they all want to learn different things, but I think as a whole, like, they all have this I guess, aspiration.
Like there's the goals and aspirations, and this program is like a vehicle or a pathway.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, too deadly. Yeah. What about it for you, Bella?
Well, yeah, I love Codger's Life and sort of what it stands for and represents for. I think a big motivating factor for me to join was definitely that I do a lot of work on a community level and a lot of work trying to work with communities to sort of do a bunch of stuff in a range of different areas. And this was an opportunity that it came up for my family to sort of go, hey, like, you're doing a bunch of stuff. How about you spend some time and you do something for you and you learn and you can develop and you make some new networks and connections. And in this generation, because we're all young mob together from different places around the country, which is extraordinary about what Culture's Life is able to do and promote on that stage as well. There's connections across the entire country because we're going to continue this journey in our different areas, and the advocacy, the fight, the activism, and whatever else that young mob are wanting to do. And it's important to have that diversity of perspective as well. And then we will continue to know each other, hopefully, for a long period of time as we continue this journey. Because as young mob, hopefully we grow older, we're privileged to get to that point and grow, which is amazing. And then we can continue to build the thread of those relationships that we're having with each other as well.
I think that's a really good point to touch on, is relationships. A big part of our culture is based on relationships, right? It's not what you know, it's who you know. And some of those people in our community are the ones that kind of support us and guide us and say, hey, this program's for you. How did you hear about the program? And what was it like applying for it?
It's the typical how you hear about it, where, you know, it's the Murray grapevine, the Koori grapevine, wherever you're from, there's that community yarn that's, you sort of, someone talks about it, you know about it, you go, what is this thing? Then you find out, you Google or whatever, you find this information, and then you want to go, you do the sense check, you start calling your family, hey, look at this program here, what's going on? You know any of these more, what's going on? So that was kind of the general process that you sort of go through for stuff like that. So it was definitely that, and then it was always good feedback, and community were very supportive of, my family were very supportive, going, yeah, give it a go, learn and develop in this area as well. And that was kind of how I felt about it, yeah.
So I was going to say, Koby, over to you. Are you now are you an alumni? Are you in the thick of this program? Where are you at right now?
I guess I'm in that transition stage now, like where this is our last intensive. So after this, we become alumni. We have our ceremony on Thursday night, which is very exciting. Just be able to celebrate the last 12 months with our fullas, and get around each other and just connect and reflect. I think, which is the most exciting part, I think, for me.
And in terms of, just reflecting then on the last 12 months, good opportunity to reflect now. What has been like one of your highlights? I'm pretty sure there's many highlights of the program. You said that you're here for an intensive. How many intensives, and can you share with our listeners, like what does those intensive entail? What do you do?
I think, so I guess intensive, you've got intense in there, like they're full-on weeks, but it's all about personal development and a little bit of professional development, depending on how you look at it and how your mindset goes in, like your mind frame goes in going into it. But I think, we all kind of develop more personally and more. There's a lot of human connection, obviously. You spend a whole week just with, the 9 to 15 of you, including staff. So it's pretty full on. You get to know each other very quickly. And I think we kind of delved real deep straight away. This is the third intensive in Brizzy, Muggingin. So we had our first one in Naarm, Melbourne, and then, Gimli in Cairns. So
you've been able to actually go and see other mobs country through this program.
Yeah, which has been like special. I think I've got ties to Wurundjeri mob in Naarm, and just to be able to learn about my nan's mob and history behind that has been special. And then obviously, to go up to Cairns, Gimoy, and learn about their mob and their stories, and even just some of the connections to Yuggera country where my pop's from, and the storylines and songlines that kind of connect both mobs, even though they're so far away, has been special as. So
I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about the opportunity. Like you think about, for a lot of our mob, especially young mob, they've never had the opportunity to leave their community. And sometimes we're afraid or, not confident to actually, take advantage of some of those opportunities. Still have to put the application in, and there's a selection process. Otherwise, everyone would be there. So obviously, 9 to 15, it's a small group. And there is that kind of, connection part that people do need to connect to some degree, because you're going to spend some time together over a week, you said, and then do 2 or 3 of those intensives, and then you graduate. Are you looking forward to graduating, Bella, Joel, or which way? Excited?
It's kind of the typical bittersweet. You build these relationships with people over a year, and you develop and you grow, and then it's been amazing, and then you kind of like, it's coming to an end. Like, it's like, I don't know if anyone's played any sports, but it's like you're getting to the end of the season in your sports, and you're looking around, and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to be around the same players here next year. We're going to have these same moments. You had them, you don't know what's going to happen later. So you're very grateful, or I'm very grateful anyway, for the experiences that I've had. So I am looking forward to graduating in the sense of being grateful for this amazing opportunity to be with Cultures Life, visit other people's countries, and learn those really personal, local community stories that they have too. That's also cultural, but also a lot of historical stories that are there as well. So I'm grateful for those, and very privileged, I suppose, in that sense as well, to be able to go onto other people's countries and be welcomed on and be grounded in culture, which is an important integral part of culture. Culture is life. It's in the name, Culture is Life, the Fullaship Program of Culture is Life, where culture is such an important part of that entire program. The whole program is grounded really in culture, which makes it so special. And then even visiting other people's countries and learning different cultural protocols and different stories. And I'm very grateful for all those experiences. But yeah, definitely bittersweet that it is coming to an end. But that's life.
It is life. And, just thinking about some of those moments, was there anyone in particular that you've met that you want to mention or share? They might be listening.
This is true. Yeah, there's definitely lots of people throughout this whole journey that have been absolutely incredible. I think one that really resonates with me was when we went and visited the Corandok mission, or what used to be the Corandok mission, in the jurisdiction of Victoria, and hearing there was an uncle in there who came and shared his yarn and his story and his connection to this warrior that was a massive advocate for that particular mission, in the sense of, in that particular time, he was able to build relationships with a lot of other mob from that region and actually self-determine a lot of how they were living in that mission. So hearing those different types of stories, and that uncle being there as a direct descendant of that family, to be able to carry that knowledge and share that knowledge and impart that knowledge too, which is, we're privileged to be in that position where uncle can impart that knowledge as well to us. That was a really interesting, or a moment I value a lot, because it was also a little bit of a narrative I wasn't used to hearing when people, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, often talk about missions as well. So there was a lot of strength in the story that he was sharing as well. So that definitely a moment that resonates deeply with me.
And if you wasn't part of this fellowship program, you probably wouldn't have met Uncle, right?
I probably wouldn't have, because again, like, it was something happened. We had to switch the program at a last minute, and it relied on that social fabric of relationships where the staff, who were amazing, were able to pull together this program within a couple of days.
Love it.
It was their relationships.
Love how our mob work.
It's amazing.
And create something that, could have went, hey, look, we got to postpone this, or this day's not going to happen. We're going to cancel. No. Black fellas are pretty good at pulling resource together.
That was it.
Even last minute.
Last minute, yeah, exactly. So exactly, we wouldn't have probably got that opportunity if those things didn't happen in the relationships and the community. So you're 100% right.
Of course. I love
relationships.
You love just how black fellas work.
Yeah.
And how actually connected we are to our communities, where people will do whatever with 5 minutes notice or with no pay even. People just jump in, no worries, I'll be there. Love this. And I hope for our listeners that are listening to this yarn, if you are interested, if any of this resonates with you, or you're kind of at a crossroads with your life, your career, or what you want to do, you're not sure, this could be a program for you. So in our show notes, we'll make sure that we've got some information about this program, or even reach out to these young fellas here where they can share, hopefully offline. I'll put it out there that you fellas are going to have everyone hit you up now about your experience, so that people start to feel that just that confidence. Step outside your comfort zone and grab these opportunities with two hands. Bella, to finish up the yarn, I was just going to say, if you could, just share with some of these young fellas listening, whether it's, words of wisdom, some advice, for them to make that decision on whether or not this program is for them. What would you say?
I think so. On intensive number 2, we kind of shared a little bit about ourselves and kind of why we did this, why we did the fellowship, why we do the work that we do in community or for ourselves, and a lot of it did come back to that community. But I think the words that I kind of try and live by every day is to be humble, to be kind, be grateful, and then be uncomfortable. And I think that's that last one, be uncomfortable. Step out of your comfort zone and give it a crack. Like, that's when you grow the most. That's when you get the most out of yourself, but you can also get the most out of others as well when you're uncomfortable and you're putting yourself out there. So I think if you're thinking about doing the fellowship or another opportunity that's similar, or even if you're just thinking like, oh, how can I get better at this, just put yourself in that uncomfortable situation. But be humble, be kind and grateful as well at the same time.
What deadly way to kind of leave people with some words of wisdom. What about for you, Bella Joel? What would you say to some of our young mob listening?
I think what I would say is definitely just give it a crack. Probably, like, just if there's something you're thinking of, whether it is the Cultures Life program, whether you wanted to study something or learn a new skill, or you want whatever it is, like start a new job, apply for something else. I think what I just say is just give it a go, and probably think about your values as well. I'd probably say to start with that, think about what your values are. Like stop and like deeply think about what your values actually are. Write them down and reflect on those, and then think about it a little bit more, and maybe have a yarn with someone who knows you well as well, so that you can sort of go, hey, this is what I think, or whatever it is. But think about your values, and then based on your values, and think about something you may want to do, whether it's a goal or whether it's even an idea or a thought, or not really a properly formulated goal yet, and just give it a go. Like you may start something and you may go down the path and realize, oh, damn, this actually wasn't for me. But through that process of giving it a go and coming to that realization of that moment, I think there's a lot of power in that, and that's still a step in the right direction. So my message would definitely just to be, give something a go if you're interested in it, you wanted to do it, you're thinking about it, whatever, just give it a go.
Yeah, you never know what opportunities or what the future, what is tomorrow. If you don't have a go now, then you'll never know. I just want to say to both of you, thank you for jumping on the podcast and having a yarn, sharing a bit about your stories and your mob and your community as well. I'm pretty sure we could be here for a lot longer. But big shout out to Belinda Duarte, the CEO of Cultures Life. For my listeners, go back to like 4 years ago, in the very early days of Black Magic Woman, you can hear the deadly Belinda Duarte talk about this organisation and a bit about her story as well.
Auntie.
Is it your auntie?
Wodjabali.
Like literally
Kennedy Marks mob.
There you go. Big shout out here. An inspirational, deadly Koori woman, representing on so many different fronts, but in particular this program, the fellowship program from Cultures Life. So I just want to say thank you for coming on, and it's been an absolute pleasure to spend the day with you. Hopefully we get to catch up back on your country soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was good to be here.
You're welcome. I can't wait for you to hear. We've got a few other guests that we're going to have on another episode where we actually support and promote the work of Cultures Life, in particular the fellowship program. If you want to learn more, go to our show notes. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. Until next time, bye for now.
If you'd like any more info on today's guest, please visit our show notes in the episode description. A big shout out to all you Deadly Mob and allies who continue to listen, watch and support our podcast. Your feedback means the world. You can rate and review the podcast on Apple and Spotify, or even head to our socials and YouTube channel and drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. The Black Magic Woman podcast is produced by Clint Curtis.